In this video, we're gonna continue with our course in LibreCAD. We're gonna see how we can insert references inside our project so that we cannot miss anything and we can start from something and not from zero. So this is gonna help us to speed up our work, especially at the beginning. But we are free to create anything from completely nothing, or again, we can choose references. So this lesson will be about inserting references, and we're also gonna see other tools and other features that are really interesting here in LibreCAD. So you can see here that I have inserted files from other CAD applications. And this is, of course, the best option because we can take advantage of the snaps and we can modify it. We can just build on top of it, or we can destroy. We can do like demolition, reconstruction, and so on. So we can definitely use files from other software like BIM software like Revit or ArchiCAD, or we can use from CAD application like AutoCAD and so on. So we're gonna see this example. Now, of course, this is the best case scenario. This is the best thing for you because you have units, you have the model in the correct size, you have the drawing is in the correct scale, so everything is already kind of set up for you. So you're not like starting from the beginning, so you just need to modify it. And the other option, I'm just going to close this window here, and I'm also going to show you how you can work with different windows at the same time. And the other option is to have an image. Now, images, if you don't have, of course, a CAD, you have like a drawing, can be like hand drawn, so there will be like less precise, or they can be like from another AutoCAD application as well, so they are like printed. But this is the worst case scenario is when you have like hand draw of a plan view or of a technical drawing. You don't have the exact measures, you don't have anything that will suggest you the size of it, so you need to figure out the scale and so on. So best case scenario, CAD file. Worst case scenario, an image which is not really precise and you need to interpret a little bit and you don't have any measure in it. So we're just gonna see how we can import these two types of references. So let's get started. I'm just gonna close everything here. And before we actually get into LibreCAD, I just wanna suggest you that if you don't have any CAD drawings, you can just search it on the web. You can search for free CAD drawings, you will find a lot of them. And you will find it in the form of a block sometimes, or of a CAD DWG file or the XF file. Now, if you have DWG, you can try it, but usually it doesn't work, so you need to convert. And on the web, you can also find DWG, DXF converters. But if you want, you can also find video guides in our channel explaining to you how to convert and use these converters. So you can get some CAD drawings, or perhaps you already have some CAD drawings of your own or of a friend, a colleague, or whatever your situation is. So we're gonna use a CAD and we're gonna use an image. Now for the image, same thing. You probably have your own house plan view, or perhaps you have some of a client, or again a friend, or you can go just in Google and search for house plan view, and you can see that some of these are actually nice and clean, so they're probably coming from some, again, CAD application. But sometimes you will find like some sketch or hand drawing. Now that's the kind of the worst case scenario. You can also sketch it yourself on a piece of paper if you want, and that's not gonna be precise, of course. Now when you start to have like dimensions, that's gonna be better, but I'm gonna show you again the worst case scenario. So no dimension, no clue at all about the size, and then we're gonna fix it a little bit. But you can get it from here. You can get CAD drawings, images, whatever you want. Okay, when you're ready, you can get back into LibreCAD. So open up LibreCAD, and here I'm gonna choose millimeters, English. Now, why millimeters? Because usually when you import files from AutoCAD or from Revit or other CAD and building information modeling applications, or BIM, you will find these units set up here, millimeters, but you can change it if you want, as usual. So I'm going to use millimeters because it's kind of a standard. And here we are once again in the LibreCAD interface. So how we can get references inside LibreCAD? There are couple of options. So if you go here to File, first thing you can do is to open up the file directly. So if I click on Open, and I'm gonna navigate into my folder where I store different DWG or DXF. Now you can see that here it's only, well, it's showing me also DWG, but if I select here one of these, so let me get this one here, for example. This is a plan view for Sketchup, which is a tool or software that can be used to create 3D models. Okay, if I open this file, it's going to tell me experimental, save your work, continue, okay. So you can see it's telling me that this is not supported at the moment. Perhaps in the future it will be, but at the moment we cannot use DWGs, but give it a try. So the other way is to go for DXF. And again, if you only have DWG, you can convert using an online converter. So in this case, I'm just gonna use the XF drawing exchange. And again, I can pick one of these files. I wanna show you here this one, which is Revit to SketchUp. Now in this case, I've exported from Revit, which is a BIM application, Building Information Modeling. And if you're curious, you can check the video course in the channel about Revit. So what I've done is I exported from Revit, which is both 2D and 3D. I exported it only the 2D and created a DXF file to open. So just gonna open this, and this is the result. So it's kind of good. I mean, it's not perfect because it's from another application, so I need to clean it up. I can select this strange text here and just delete it, and I can continue to work on this. So the advantage that we have when we use CAD files is that we can just go there and select the line, as we now know how to do. So I can select, I can click and drag to move it, so I can modify the drawing. Or I can select and click the vertices and change the position of those vertices. And of course, I can use the snaps. Either if I need to modify, so if I want to modify this line again, let me just select it with the left mouse, click and drag, and you can see I can now move this line. There you go, and snap it right there again. So I can use the lines that I already have. I can edit this drawing. I can select parts of the drawing. This is a block probably. So when I move it, it's gonna move all together here. And I can continue to draw on top of this. So for example, if I take the line, 2-point line, using the snap, I can draw here using the snap. Just gonna make a quick example like this. Or I can draw without the snap anywhere here and continue. So let me just close by typing close, so I can close the shape and continue. Now another thing I can do is check if it's in the correct scale, if the size is okay. So I can just select a line. Well, this is a block again. You can see it's like a combination of lines. And if you go here in the block list, you can see all the blocks that you have imported. Now, if you want to edit this block, you need to explode it. This is one editing tool. So if you go here, you can see in the editing panel that you have explode. So when you explode, you can then click and select each single entity, each single line of that. You can see we also have layers, again, that have been exported from Revit into CAD. So when I select this line, this should be a parking lot. So if I select this line, you can see the length here is 216. So given that I am in millimeters, I think this is not good because 200 millimeters is really small. So this is not in scale right now. Means that it probably was conceived in another unit. So let's do another example. I'm gonna open up a new file. You can see it just moved on top of the previous, and I can save these here in my LibreCAD folder. I'm gonna call this lesson 04 and save it. Okay, the other alternative is to go to File and Import. Now you can see when you import, you have the choice of importing a block, which is going to be a CAD file, or inserting an image, which is the last example that we're going to see. So in this case, I want to insert as a block, and I want to get the exact same file. So it's going to be this DXF Revit to SketchUp file, and open it up and just place it. You can see now it's telling me that I need to specify a reference point, which means the origin where I'm gonna place this. I can also type 0,0 like we did previously and press enter. So that's gonna be placed there. And let's see what it is. Okay, there you go. It's really big. So I'm using my scroll wheel to go back, and now I can see it. Press ESC, otherwise you're gonna continue to insert blocks. Now also here you have the two buttons for the insert image, for inserting images, and creating blocks or inserting blocks. Well, actually this is to create the block, but we're gonna see that later. And if I go again in the block list, there you go, you have a lot of blocks. Okay, let's go back to the layers. And if I click on this, you can see this is an entire block. So I cannot work with this unless I just use it as a reference. But if I want to edit the lines and all the objects, the geometry that are inside, I need to explode once again. So let's go back here and go to explode. And now we can edit the single parts. Some are like blocks within the block, so you need to select them. And you can see we have a problem here with the parking spots, lines, that they're like in the wrong position. So since this is an open source software, many times you need to fix things here and there, bits and pieces, to have like everything imported correctly. So you can see that when we open it, it's better than when we insert it as a block in terms of accuracy. But let's see the size. So I'm gonna go back here to this car. I'm gonna draw a line, 2 points, just to take a measure. So I can click once, and if I hold the shift key, you can see that I can draw more precisely, perfectly vertical, perfectly horizontal, and then with a degree interval. So I'm just gonna click first there and then second point right here and press ESC. Then I will select the line, go here, and you can see that now that I am at 4,000 millimeters. So if I see now, this is millimeters, this is good. It's not wrong as previous. So I don't need to scale. I don't need to resize this as the previous example. So let's also do another insertion. So I'm gonna insert the image now. Let me just save this. So this will be lesson 4. So I'm gonna create a new one, and I'm gonna call this save as lesson 04B and save it. Okay, now I want to import the image. Pretty simple. Well, actually it's pretty much the same thing. So I can go from here, insert image, or I can go here, file, and import, insert image, and now I will navigate into the folder where I saved my image. In this case, it's the LibreCAD folder for me. And I'm gonna open it up. Now again, it's telling me to specify a reference point. So I can click there, and there you go, I have the image. Now when you insert something, you can, let me just right click to repeat the same exact command, so insert image. And when you click and select the image, right here at the top, don't forget, never forget to always have a look here what happens on the top. This is always giving you some extra options, so always look there. So you can see that I can change the angle if I want, let's say like 10 degrees, and the factor of scale. So I don't really know what size is this, what scale is this. I need to figure out later, and perhaps I need to resize it. Probably I need to resize it because when I import an image, I have less precision, less accuracy than the usual CAD file. So if I want this to be bigger, I can set this to be like 3, and so it's gonna be three times bigger than the previous one, and click, and now this is another way you can import. So always have a look there in the options bar anytime, so there is always something interesting there. Okay, so now I have different drawings opened up, but how can I see them all together? Well, if you go here to drawings, you have different options here. Now we are in the window mode. This is the standard option, but you can change this to the tab mode. And in the tab mode, you can see it here, the names of the different files that you have opened. Now you can also, let's go back here. You can also switch from a drawing to the other by clicking here. So this is the lesson 4, lesson 4B, Revit to SketchUp DXF. And this one here is unnamed, which I don't, this is kind of the standard. So you can close also. If you go to File, you can save. When you see this asterisk here, this star, it means that this wasn't saved. So you can either save it, save as, you can also save all the drawings, or you can close if you want. You can close this drawing right here. You can close all the drawings that you opened, or you can directly quit everything and exit the software. So in this case, I'm just gonna close this one here, which is unnamed document, and I'm not gonna save it, just close it. So right now I have only these 3. And another really important thing I can do is to arrange. So I can arrange by using maximized, which is gonna like open the drawing to the entire page, or I can do cascade. So you can move these around now. And if you have a bigger screen, this will probably be really handy, especially if you need to work simultaneously on many drawings. So cascade again, if you want them, bring them back organized. And then you have tile, which is going to show you all the drawings, but in different positions. And then you have tile vertically and tile horizontally. So let's say that I want to use tile for the moment. Okay. Now, another thing you can do when you work with different drawings is copy and paste the entire drawing or parts of it. So if I want to copy this tree here, I can select it from here, go up here, and you can see I can either cut and then go here and say paste. Okay, now we need to make sure that the size is correct. We don't really know the size, so it will be difficult. Or sometimes you can just like copy and paste. So if I go back here, I cut that from there, but let's copy and paste. So you can also do Control X, Control C, Control V. So Control X is to cut, Control C is to copy. Then I go here and say Control V, and there it is. So it's pretty big because this is probably too small. So everything needs to be fixed, and you need to resize and make adjustment. But we're gonna talk about those things in another lesson about the transformation here and editing tools. So you can copy and paste essentially using these tools, or just Control C, Control V. And now let's go here in the image. Now, when we have a CAD drawing, we saw that things are better. So I'm just gonna expand this window just a little bit more. And I can also, of course, resize everything here anytime. Now here, I cannot use the snap. So if I start to use the line and activate the endpoint snap, you can see that it only snaps to the corners, to the angles. So I cannot use it. So I need to turn that off. And so I need to start to retrace my raster image, which is made of pixels, and make it vector graphics. So I need to vectorize or trace. It has different names. Now, another thing you can do easier in the application preferences is to activate in the appearance the anti-aliasing. This should improve the quality of your image. Now, if something doesn't work properly sometimes, well, don't get mad. Remember that this is an open source software. and you can also support the project to make them update and become better and better. So what I'm gonna do here is to draw a line on top of the image. Now to do that, before I actually start to draw, I want to go up here and make something more visible. So I want to use the red color, and also you can increase the pen, but this will not be visible here. I'm going to show you how to make it visible. And that's it. So let's start to draw. So I'm going to click here, and then to be really precise, I need to zoom a lot so you can see the pixels here. So I hold shift to work straight and then move on to the next point, which is going to be this one here. So I'm just going to use the scroll wheel to zoom back and forward and be really precise, as close as I can get. And when I finish here, I can then say close and close the shape. Okay, but I cannot see the shape. Well, it's there. I can see it now. I can see a little bit better. But if I want to see even better, I can do a couple of things. First of all, I can go up here. You can switch to the draft mode. So draft mode will show you the actual shape that you have been creating. And if you don't see the shape, what you can do is select the image first and change the order of appearance. So you right click, go to the toolbars, go to order, and these are the orders right here. So you can place something at the bottom like this and select the drawing that you are doing and put it on the top. So move on the top, and this should let you see it properly. If you have some issues on the display, if you cannot see it properly. Now I'm gonna finish just with a quick print preview. So the print preview, yeah, there you go. This was, I think, the previous tree that I have copy and paste. It's really big. So the print preview is gonna show you everything, and especially the actual width of that pen. So you can see now that the width is too much, or perhaps the drawing is too small. Well, I think that the drawing is too small. So we're gonna see later how to scale it. But this is just to show you that anytime you can preview the drawing and see how it's gonna look like when you're gonna be in the printing part, which is the final part. So we're gonna get there, don't worry. Just this is gonna be it for this lesson. If you enjoyed, please subscribe to the channel and support us. If you want, you can join the channel as a supporter so we can create more video guides, more video courses for you guys free. And this is gonna be it. And if you want more professional tools, you can check our other video courses in Revit, SketchUp, AutoCAD, and many more. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video.